Happy New Year, Proshot fans. I am Cameron Capobianco, and joined by me is a returning guest to the Proshot Podcast, former Oakville Blade, former Waterloo Blackhawk now, and former Team Canada East representative at the World Junior A Challenge, Ryan O'Hara. Ryan, long time no speak. Hopefully the new year and your holidays have been treating you well so far.
Yeah, it's been a good time. We've been back here for a while, so I'm glad to be back on the podcast. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, Ryan, we did talk, I believe the last time we spoke, you were just starting your time at the Waterloo Blackhawks in the USHL. How did that go for you? How was the experience like in that?
It was a really good time. We didn't really have the year as a team that we would have liked. We couldn't really get it on track, and we struggled for most of the year, but it was a great group of guys, and I learned a lot. It was a really good league. I played against some really good players, and I was lucky enough to have some production at the end. So it was overall, I think it was a really positive experience, and I'm really thankful for everyone at Waterloo.
What were some maybe the experiences you did learn playing in the USHL? Maybe some of the differences that maybe from your time playing with the Oakville Blades in the Ontario Junior Hockey League, maybe some differences from playing in Canada to the United States?
Yeah, it was for sure a lot more of a similar game to college. I think it helped me prepare. Also, there were some really strong players. We had some players from the WHL too that came down. There was a really good, strong group of players from the Ivy League that stayed in the USHL. So overall, it was a really strong group of competition, and it was a great job, kind of in the middle, to help me bridge the gap between Oakville and college. I think Waterloo did a great job of that.
And do you have any maybe favorite games that you played in at the USHL for the Waterloo Blackhawks or anything?
Yeah, we had a really good game. We played Chicago. They were of course the top team that won it. We ended up beating them 6-5 at home in overtime. And actually the current captain at Waterloo, Reiners, he scored the overtime goal. So that was a really fun game to be a part of. And that would kind of be the stick out game, I think, and everyone on the team would have said the same thing. That was a really fun game for us that season.
And let's get into maybe what the atmosphere was like in the USHL playing away from home in a way, I could say, because obviously at hometown, Oakville boy in a way, playing for the Blades at the 60 Mile Sports Complex. Maybe what was the atmosphere down in the United States at Waterloo?
It was really nice, actually, especially during COVID. Iowa was pretty open. I think it was only, we didn't have any capacity restrictions. So they got a lot of fans. We got over 2,000 fans a game, which was awesome. And those fans were great. They gave us a great time. And overall, the facility, the way we were treated and everything, because the COVID restrictions weren't the same as Canada, it got to feel like pretty much a normal year, which was awesome for us. So from a player's perspective, we were really grateful for how we were treated and how the fans showed up to every game and cheered loud, and how COVID didn't affect us as much as it did in Canada.
Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, during the time when you were with the Oakville Blades, you guys unfortunately had a shortened season because of the pandemic. I think you guys were about to play in the second round against the Buffalo Junior Sabres that year when the shutdown and the cancellation happened. So it was great to see that you guys had especially you got to play in a season finally where you could play and not really miss a year of hockey and that stuff. But let's go into for now where you are at Bowling Green playing hockey for the Falcons in the NCAA. What influenced your decision to go there? Was it, for both your academics as well as your hockey career?
Yeah, I committed here actually a long time ago. I committed here at the end of 2018. And when I visited, when I first kind of was introduced to the process, I think Bowling Green really stood out. I was able to visit the campus. It's only 4.5 hours away from Oakville. The coaches were great, and more importantly, though, the program was really good, and the program was headed in the right direction. So it was really promising to see the improvements that the program made in the last 6 or 7 years, as well as how their players do after they graduate, whether it's pros or it's in the business world, the professional world. People that are going to Bowling Green are becoming good people, whether it's hockey or whether it's other situations, and that's really promising. That's something you want to be a part of.
And maybe we could talk about this too, because now that you're playing hockey and that stuff again, at this time, another big level of NCAA, what were some of the things that you took from playing in the OJHL and the USHL? And we can include maybe the World Junior A Challenge. What were some of the things that helped you kind of get prepared for playing at this NCAA level?
Yeah, well, I'll touch more on Oakville and the World Junior A. I think Oakville did a great job, especially with Tino and Jamie over my 2 years of they let me kind of build my skill set, and they were let me use my ability in the OJ. And that's something I'm really grateful for. They obviously provided great coaching and great guidance, but they let me grow into the player that I've become now. And I'm really grateful for that. And they did a good job of guiding us through those 2 years. And we had great teams. We had really good teams. We learned how to win too. That was a big thing, right? Both those years, especially the first year, obviously going to nationals. There's no better way to develop than winning. And we were lucky enough to do that both years, and going to the nationals and stuff. That's a big deal, especially for someone in their first year of juniors. I think that helped me take great strides.
And maybe we could talk about maybe can tie into the NCAA as well. What were some of the differences between your two coaches that you had? You had a former NHL goalie and Jamie Storr as your head coach the year the pandemic started. And then the year prior, when you guys went to nationals, you guys were behind the likes of Mike Tarantino. So maybe what were the differences in learning their games?
Yeah, obviously it's good. I actually got to think a little bit back to Tino now. That's been a while. But I think Tino might have been a little more structured, whereas Jamie was a little bit more freelance to play your game. But it actually probably helped me my first year of juniors to have more structure, because I wasn't very good defensively, and Tino he helped me learn how to play the defensive side of the puck. And then Jamie came in and he was he really helped guide our games into the right situations, if that makes sense. But he was a great coach as he kind of stepped in and taught us things that I haven't been taught before, especially having NHL experience. That was a big deal. So it was really interesting to learn from the both of them.
And another question for you about atmosphere I have, Ryan, is you guys you're playing right well through 18 games now with Bowling Green. What has the atmosphere been like so far through those 18 games that maybe for a first year guy playing NCAA, what has that atmosphere been like?
Yeah, the atmosphere here is crazy. That's really the first word to describe it. If you look at video from playing Ohio State or Miami, the fans are crazy, the band's crazy, the student section is crazy. It's like it is a really fun time during the games. It's they do a great job for the production of the games and then the preparation. It's a lot of time goes into it, and the fans show up and the fans cheer loud and they support us as loud as they possibly can. So it's a great experience for us. It's a great experience for the fans. So we're really grateful for how prideful they are for BG.
And my last question for you, Ryan, is we were talking about this earlier before we started this interview. You guys have 2 games coming up this weekend, both Friday and Saturday against St. Thomas. What's the game plan for you guys so you walk in to St. Thomas and take away possibly when you come home to Bowling Green 2 wins?
Yeah, we played them earlier in the year and we swept them. So we've looked at video from that. We're having a similar game plan. We have gifted scorers on our team, so we're hoping that they can produce and that we can continue to take the right steps that we have. So yeah, pretty much the same game plan as last time we played them.
All right. So Ryan, that's going to do it for this interview. I want to say thank you so much for joining me back on the Proshot Podcast. It was a pleasure having you back on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Guys, Ryan O'Hara, current forward at Bowling Green in the NCAA. I'm Cameron Capobianco, and we'll catch you guys next.